The Environmental Protection Agency's move to regulate carbon dioxide under the Clean Air Act is an economic and bureaucratic nightmare in the making that's going to have a devastating effect on our economy and put a regulatory stranglehold on businesses and individuals across the country. The Congressional Review Act was passed in 1996 to make sure that Congress could step in when federal agencies got off track. It was a bipartisan bill because senators and representatives recognized that we should not hand off our responsibility for setting federal policy to federal agencies, and so that when federal agencies get off track, we have a way to bring them back to reality. We need to bring the EPA back to reality on the catastrophe that regulating greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act would create, because if we don't, it will be consumers and businesses, both small business and big business in every sector of our economy, that will end up paying more than they can afford for these regulations. The consequences of allowing the EPA to regulate carbon dioxide under the Clean Air Act are tremendous. The EPA's rule that would go into effect if Senator Murkowski's resolution is not adopted won't just apply to big power plants or industrial factories. More than 6 million businesses and residents will come under these new regulations at a cost of billions of dollars to our economy. The EPA is going to regulate small business and family farms, and those can't afford to comply will go out of business. They will regulate office buildings and warehouses, and if you rent space in an office building or store your inventory in a warehouse, your cost will rise. Grocery stores, restaurants, hotels, residential buildings, and even individual homes will face complicated and expensive regulations. And it's not just members on my side of the aisle who believe the EPA is making a disastrous approach. The White House and members of the President's party have said that the EPA's move to impose command and control regulation on greenhouse gases would be a step in the wrong direction. Where would the regulation stop? No one knows for sure. Cattle produce a lot of carbon dioxide and methane, so it's hard to imagine how the agricultural industry would not be impacted. What about people? In big city, people are breathing out carbon dioxide all day long. Could that be the subject of regulation under the Clean Air Act? Could breathing become a finable violation? Or would there be a new tax as breathing isn't an option? There will be unintended consequences if the EPA is allowed to move forward, and we have a chance to stop that from happening today by supporting Senator Murkowski's resolution disapproving the EPA's action.